Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We are the boys from the Baltic Star. In fact, we are 66.66 recurring percent of the boys from the Baltic Star. Um, I'm Ben, and with me tonight is Ewan, and we are going to have our third go at the same fighting fantasy game book because basically we're determined to get through the prologue at least. This is
Mm.
what it's come down to. Um, Thank you so much for joining us. What we do on this stream is we play narrative games of one kind or another, and this one is so narrative it actually comes in a book. First published in 1986, it is one of the fighting fantasy game books, a creation of Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone, who created Games Workshop, the company, back before they did Warhammer. Um, they were a role playing game company and narrative gaming company. And they produced these things via Penguin's Puffin label, and they are something we've struggled with, it's fair to say, one way or another. Yeah. So, how are you tonight, Ewan?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good, thank you, Ben. It's nice to throw a little bit of maths in, seeing as our resident maths expert is not with us tonight.
Yes, that's a good idea. No one to actually check my sums.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. So the 66.66666 reoccurring is very
Exactly.
comforting. Good to hear.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. So the rules of fighting fantasy game books differ a little bit from one to another, but this one you'll be pleased to know is the old classic favourite. Just three stats and no messing about. So we need to roll for our basic stats: skill, stamina, and luck, and we need these to go
Mm.
well, I suspect, because we are not strong at this game book.
Yes, I think that's fair. That is very fair to say, judging on the last two uh, tries that we had.
Yeah, we have yet to make it past the actual prologue before we get to the main event. This
Mm.
this book is effectively a return to an older game book called Death Trap Dungeon, and as will become clear as we start, there's a preamble, a fight you have to have before you get to the actual Death Trap Dungeon, and we haven't made it there yet. So this is third time lucky. This is what we're doing. Uh,
Yes.
yes, Slayer. This one's the Colosseum event. Um, Assuming
Mm.
we actually survive long enough to get to the Colosseum, this is what it is. So we need to roll up some skill, stamina, and luck. Um, this is a d6 plus 6 for skill, please.
Wonderful.
And I have 10
Mm.
for my skill.
Oh, as do I.
We've had worse, frankly.
Yeah, that is not bad. Not bad at all.
Stamina 2d6 plus 12. That's not quite so strong. 18.
Ooh. Mine is an 11 plus 12.
Ooh,
That is
excellent.
pretty good. Right.
And luck is d6 plus 6 again. And that's not too bad. That gives me a total of 11.
Mine is another 10.
Okay. So, we now need to do the horrible bit of giving up
Mm.
our stats.
Hard
And
earned stats.
I'm gonna I'm gonna have to trust because we haven't really got far enough through this one to really know. Um, I'm gonna lose 3 from my stamina since you tend to lose them in twos. I'll go for an odd number,
Yeah, that makes sense.
um, which leaves me with 10 skill and 10 luck.
That's not bad. I'm going to take 2 off of my stamina and 2 off of my luck. To give me 10 skill, 21 stamina, and 8 luck.
Excellent. Okay. Well, it's a nice simple one to get started. This is our return to Death Trap Dungeon. This is gamebook number 21, Trial of Champions, written by Ian Livingstone, who's normally the slightly less brutal of the two, but I think given he dedicated the book to Steve Jackson, maybe he was sort of hoping to do something that Jackson would appreciate.
Jackson-esque,
Yeah.
there might have been a little nod there.
Possibly,
Sure.
yeah. We're just going to be happy if we make it to the actual Death Trap Dungeon part of this book, because
At this point,
because Death Trap Dungeon, for all of its brutality, and we have failed at that a couple of times, at least the intro just gets you in the dungeon and then you start dying. With this
yes.
one, we've managed to fail to get anywhere near the dungeon twice. So yes. Okay, we ready?
Third time's a charm, as they say.
That's what they say. It is another fiercely hot day, and the temperature in the sticky gloom below decks is unbearable. The air is thick with the acrid smell of sweating bodies. Nobody is allowed to speak, and the only noise to be heard above the monotonous creaking of the ship is the regular sharp crack of a whip and the agonised cry which follows it. "Row harder, you dogs," shouts the one-eyed overseer as he cracks the whip once again. "Enjoy this pleasant voyage while you can, because you'll wish you were back on board after a day or two where you are going." Chained to a bench and straining hard at the long oar which you pull with 2 other galley slaves, your mind drifts back to that unfortunate day 1 week ago when you were captured. You had left Port Blacksand in a small boat to sail south down the coast to Oyster Bay. As ill luck would have it, a galley appeared on the horizon, heading in your direction. It drew steadily closer, and it was not long before your boat was crushed under its bows, and you were forced to dive into the sea. There was nothing you could do except climb up a rope that was thrown down to you, as your boat had become no more than a few pieces of broken wood, floating aimlessly on the sea. It was useless to struggle, as a crew of 20 hardened cutthroats surrounded you. A gruff voice from behind them ordered them to part, and an ugly, scarred man appeared, grinning and spitting juice from chewing tobacco onto the deck. His teeth were chipped and blackened, and a foul stench wafted in the breeze from his unwashed clothes. "Captain Bartella always delivers the goods. You'll make up for the one who died from the flogging yesterday. Saves me having to kidnap a landlubber. Must be my lucky day. But I wouldn't say it was yours." The captain let out a laugh which was like a long wheezing exhalation, and then barked out an order to his mate. "Take the rat below to meet the rest of the vermin." Since that cursed day you've been chained to your oar, rowing to the point of collapse towards an unknown destination. Suddenly you hear a shout of "Land ahoy!" and begin to wonder what evil awaits you. An hour later you feel the ship bump against a jetty, and there is much shouting until the ship is finally moored. You are dragged from the ship with the other slaves, and see in the glaring sunlight that you're on a small island. A sombre-looking castle sits on top of the island, and next to it there is a semi-ruined amphitheatre. A man wearing black chainmail armour hands Captain Bartella a bag of coins. Satisfied with his payment, the wheezing captain orders his men back to the ship, and you watch them set sail. The man in black armour steps forward, saying, "You are now the property of Lord Carnus. It is your honour to die for his pleasure in the arena of death here on Blood Island. Only one of you will survive, and he or she will represent Lord Carnus in Fang for the next trial of champions. Baron Succumbit has modified his deadly labyrinth and is now offering 20,000 gold pieces to anybody who gets through it. Of course, Lord Carnus will keep the prize if you get through, but you will be spared your life. Baron Succumbit's reputation suffered greatly last year when somebody succeeded in getting through the labyrinth. but he now boasts that nobody can survive his new dungeon. Lord Carnus would like one of you to make Succumbit eat his words. You must understand that he hates his brother's fame. Now follow me. You are led up the hill to the castle, where you're locked in a cell in the depths of the lower chambers. Sharing the dark cell with you are 4 others, a stout dwarf, a man-orc, a sinewy Easterner, and a bald, muscle-bound man. The mood is grim, and few words are spoken as each of you ponders the impending combat. 42 slaves arrived by ship, and only 1 will survive. The dubious reward is entry to a deadly dungeon. Evening, Luke. Yes, we've just read the preamble. Okay. At dawn the following day, you are woken by the sound of heavy footsteps approaching down the corridor. A key turns in the lock of the cell door, and 2 guards wearing black chainmail enter, carrying trays of food. Eat well, says one of them, as you will need all your strength to survive the day. By the end of it, you may all be dead. The guard then turns to you and offers you some bread and a bowl of soup. If you wish to take the food, turn to 49, and if you'd rather try to overcome the guard and make an escape, turn to 292.
Now I know what we did last time, Ben, but part of me is thinking, well,
No, you see, Slayer in chat is cheerfully reminding us: eat, lag behind, and don't duck. And I think those are logical.
Yeah.
Eat, lag behind, and don't duck. There's only one missing from that, which is pick the net and trident.
Yes, which we didn't do.
Which we didn't do last time, and that led to instant death.
Mm.
Okay, so we're going to follow the instructions, I take it, and eat the food?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have faith in Slayer.
So do I.
After the last time. Turns out we should listen to chat more.
The soup is thick with chicken and vegetables, and tastes delicious. You devour it greedily and mop up the last drops with the bread. You've not eaten well for a fortnight, and now feel fit and ready for the coming ordeal. When you've finished eating, you're led away to begin your first day in the arena of death. That's not a good name, is it? Turn to 22.
I mean, it's dramatic, but it doesn't help with the confidence going in.
Yes, that's quite right. You're in the middle of the procession of 42 slaves, which wends its way along various corridors until you reach the amphitheatre. The sun is already beating down, making the sand in the arena uncomfortably hot to your bare feet. Seated high in the stands is a dark hooded figure surrounded by guards. You watch him rise to his feet and lift his arms into the air, commanding silence. You know why you're here, Lord Carnus begins. It is my wish to be represented in the trial of champions. Some of you will die today, some tomorrow, and more the following day, until only one of you is left. Those about to die, I salute you. Lord Carnus sits down again and nods his head to signal the start of the proceedings. The slaves are split into 7 groups of 6, and you find yourself in a group accompanied by an elf, 2 Northmen, a dwarf, and an ogre. Your group is chosen first, and you're told that the first event is a race to test strength and stamina. A crude sack containing several heavy rocks is strapped to your backs. You watch as burning coals are brought into the arena and poured over a section of the makeshift racetrack. The 6 of you are then lined up at the start, each carrying your burden, and are told to race around the track until one of you is lapped or collapses. Then you're off. And you all jostle for position on the way to jumping the first pile of burning coals. Now we can set the pace or stay at the back. And I feel that Slayer was very clear about this.
Mm.
So we're going to stay at the back, right?
That is indeed what we did last time, and it worked.
And it did work,
I think
yes.
there may have been a roll, but it definitely worked.
I can't remember if we had to roll for it, but it certainly did pay off.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the Northmen takes the lead, setting a fast pace. Round and round the arena you run, gritting your teeth harder each time you jump over the burning coals. After 20 minutes, nobody has been left behind, and the Northman increases his stride. Okay. Throw 2 dice adding 3 to the total if you are flogged by the guards. If the total is the same or less than your skill score, turn to 360. If it's higher, turn to 250. Okay, one of us is going to have to do this. You prefer
Yep.
odds or evens? You usually go for odds, don't you?
I do indeed, and I will stick with that if that's all right, Ben. Not that it's served us well at this point, but
It is a 5. So it's your skill check, please.
2 dice.
2
Less than
dice
or equal to my skill.
if it's equal or less than your skill.
Wonderful. And we don't get 3 because we haven't yet been flogged.
We haven't been flogged yet, no.
Nah, that's all good. That's a 7, which is less than my skill.
Excellent. We turn to 360. This is going brilliantly so far.
I'm sure we said that last time.
Yeah, we did.
Moments before. But you are right.
The Northman increases his lead over the rest of you, but you feel you still have a lot in reserve should he come close to lapping the pack. When he gets within 10 metres of catching up, everybody decides to sprint. There are only 2 runners ahead of you, but you do not look back. Suddenly there is an agonised cry, followed by a shout which calls an end to the race. The dwarf lies prostrate in the sand, having collapsed just as the Northman caught up with him. While you're led back to your cells, the dwarf is quickly put to death before the start of the next race. Okay, turn to 136.
All is going to plan.
Yes. When all the races are finished and the survivors are back in their cells, you discover that the bald man does not return. Now there are only 3 others left in your cell. Although exhausted, you find it difficult to fall asleep. Your mind is occupied with what challenge the next day will bring. In the morning, you're fed, and then one by one the slaves are led away to the arena. Eventually, your turn comes, and when you reach the door to the arena, you are told to choose weapons: broadsword and shield, or trident and net. Make your choice and turn to 275. We know the answer to this one.
Do indeed, and Slayer is right. It's net time.
Yeah. We need to introduce some net neutrality to this guy. So we will choose the trident and net and turn to 275.
I want to make a Netflix and chill joke, but I'm not funny enough to make the connection.
A guard opens the door to the arena and you step onto the hot sand, which is now stained red with the blood of fallen combatants. Suddenly, another door in the arena wall opens, and out steps the dreaded Bone Crusher beast, its tough leathery skin glistening in the sun. Its ugly head is small and houses 2 narrow, near-blind eyes, a flat nose and tendrils hanging over its taut mouth. Its torso, however, is massive, and its long arms are dauntingly powerful. We are to fight it with a trident and net, so we turn to 175.
I feel much more positive than last time.
I'm more optimistic. I'm sure there'll still be a bit of a fight, but I'm more optimistic. You allow yourself a faint smile as you have chosen a good weapon with which to fight your adversary. Edged weapons cause little damage to the iron-like hide of a bone crusher. There is only one way to slay a bone crusher, and that is to make it fall to the ground, whereupon its delicate balance will be totally destroyed, and it will be impossible for the bone crusher to get to its feet again. You move forward cautiously to snare it with your weighted net. Roll 1 die. If the number rolled is 1 to 3, we turn to 31. If it's 4 to 6, turn to 189. Okay. Right. I'm going to roll and see what happens.
Yeah. It's on you, this one. I did the skill test.
That's a 5.
Ooh.
So, I don't know if that's good or bad yet. 189.
No. I say ooh. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Nor do I.
But it's exciting.
Your throw is on target and lands on top of the near-sighted bone crusher. As it thrashes around, it becomes more and more entangled and lets out an enraged howl. Before it can break free, you tug hard and pull the beast to the ground. The bone crusher lies helpless and defeated. Panting with relief, you're taken back to your cell. Woohoo! Okay, turn to 113.
Very good.
Okay, we did, as well. Well, we've already done better than our second attempt.
Yep.
Okay, by the end of the day, only one other person returns to your cell. It is the mean-looking Easterner, a man who looks as though he would murder you for 2 copper pieces. As the light quickly fades, a guard shouts out an unexpected command. There are now 2 of you left in each cell. I only want one to come out in the morning for tomorrow's combat. Sleep well. The guard bursts out laughing at his joke, and even before he's finished, the Easterner dives at you, brandishing a long, sharp pin which was concealed in his headband. Unarmed, you must fight to the death. Okay. He has skill 10, stamina 8. Okay?
Yep, 10 and 8.
The good news is we do at least get to, fight him together.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go. I've rolled an 8 plus 10 is 18.
Oh, mine is an 11 plus 10 for a 21, please, Ben.
Okay, and he has rolled a 7 plus 10 is 17. He's lost half his stamina in that first round.
Oh, the dice have been good so far for me tonight. Keep that going.
I've rolled a 9 plus 10 is 19.
Mine is exactly the same, Ben. A 9 plus 10.
Excellent. And he has rolled a 7 plus 10 is 17, which means he is done. He is dead. That was remarkably straightforward, even by our standards. Okay.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Especially by our standards.
Especially by our standards. If you win, turn to 237. Yeah, they're not going to stay that easy, are they?
No. As I think we've proved at least twice before.
You slump back against the cell wall after the fierce fight with the Easterner and fall asleep from exhaustion. When all the survivors are assembled in the arena in the morning, there are only 12 of you left. The first test of the day involves a deadly machine. I do not remember the deadly machine. You will need lightning reactions and steel nerves to survive it. It is made of a pole fixed to a heavy base. 2 sharp blades stick out from either side of the pole, one at head height and one at ankle height. One of the slaves is made to stand by the pole, which is promptly spun around by one of the guards. The slave alternately has to duck under one blade and jump over the other to avoid being badly cut. Your turn comes last, and there are 9 survivors so far, the 2 others having had their throats cut. You stand by the pole, adrenaline pumping through your veins. The guard spins the pole and you start to jump and duck. Okay, this is 2 dice, same or less than skill score again. I feel it's your turn.
Go on then. My dice rolls have been good tonight. This is not what we want from this one, though. Oh, that's good, that's good. That's a 4.
4, that sounds good. The total is the same or less than your skill score. Turn to 94. You get into a steady rhythm of ducking and jumping, and slowly the pole spins to a halt. You've survived another ordeal. The next test begins immediately. You and the rest are split into 2 groups of 5. You watch the first group of a dwarf, a man-orc, a woman warrior, a barbarian, and a dark-skinned northerner stand silently as a spiked ball and chain is lashed to each of their sword arms, and a small shield lashed to their other hand. They're then blindfolded and ordered to commence battle against one another until there is only one left standing. It is a sickening spectacle to watch, as the fighters tread warily around the arena, swinging their balls and chains. The dwarf falls first, quickly followed by the warrior woman. In the end, the southerner stands triumphant, and his blindfold is removed. He's led away, and then each member of your group is armed in the same way. You can feel your heart pounding in your chest as the order is given to commence combat against the 4 unseen adversaries. Barefoot in the sand, nobody makes a sound. If you wish to step to your left, do one thing. If you wish to step to your right, do something else. Okay. So, left or right?
I can't remember what we did at this point.
Nor can I. The only thing I know is not to try and be clever and dive.
Duck.
Yeah. Left or right? Left or right?
I mean, it feels kind of 50-50 at this point.
It does.
Snail says left.
Well, in that case, left
and chat
it is.
has done us well so far.
Left. We'll try left. That's 297. I mean, it would be cruel if this is you step to your left and immediately die, but I wouldn't put it past them.
Well, it's happened previously in this book twice. Not left, but a similar occurrence.
Okay. You step slowly towards your left, straining your ears for the sound of movement. Suddenly, there's an agonised cry and a dull thud as a body falls to the ground not far in front of you. If you wish to step further to your left, turn to 368. If you'd rather stand your ground and swing the ball and chain, 131. Oh. Step further to the left or stand ground. I'm tempted to say, if we swing the ball and chain around, isn't that going to make noise that someone could use to attack us? Oh no, to be fair, it does say not far in front of you, so there may be someone close enough for us to hit, mightn't there?
Yeah. Should we go for it?
You know what? Let's go for it. We'll try it. We'll swing the ball and chain, turn to 131. Yeah.
It's going to happen eventually, because there'll be 2 people left, and unless someone decides to duck that isn't us, we're going to have to attack someone, aren't we?
Okay. Just as you begin to swing the ball and chain, one of the other combatants steps up behind you, swinging his weapon. Test your luck.
Oh.
Okay. Is it my turn?
I believe it is.
Okay. My luck is 10, so I've got a decent chance.
Okay, that's good.
And I rolled an 8. So I have been lucky, but it has cost me a luck point, of course. Okie dokie. We are lucky, so turn to 148.
Glorious stuff.
You make first contact, and your unseen opponent cries out in pain as the spiked ball slams into his shoulder, but you don't hear him fall. You turn your head, listening intently for another grunt or groan. The man bites his lip and makes no sound. If you wish to stay where you are and continue swinging the ball and chain, turn to 159. If you want to step to your left, turn to 120. This feels like a shoot and scoot game, doesn't it? You don't want to be in a place he knows where you are.
For too long, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, you happy with that?
Yeah.
So we'll try stepping to the left and seeing if that... I mean, it might go horribly wrong, but yeah. So step to the left, turn to 120. You walk very slowly, as you know there are bodies lying in the sand. You stop to listen, but hear nothing. You decide to turn around and walk in the opposite direction. Suddenly you hear a gruff voice cry out, "If there's anybody else, I'm over here." You decide to accept the bold challenge and walk in the direction of the voice. Swinging your ball and chain, you clash head on with your unseen opponent in a blind fight to the death. Okay. This is a combat fight. So it's no longer step to the left or do this, do that. This is skill 8, stamina 8. Okay?
Yeah.
On paper, we should have this guy.
Yeah.
So,
That feels good. Right, let's
mind
do
you, I've
this.
started with a 5, so that's not great. Total of 15.
Well, there's an 8 for an 18. Please, Ben.
That's good. And he's done a 7, which is also 15. So you've knocked off 2 of his stamina, and I've done nothing.
And also, there's a wild cat has appeared
Ah,
in the arena.
it's suddenly a cat stream. Okay. Yes.
Right.
Okay. I've rolled a 5 again.
I have also rolled a 5.
And he's rolled a 7. We all managed to come up with 15. Ooh. That's amazing.
Blimey, that is quite impressive. Let's try again.
I've rolled a 5 again?
Oh, blind. Is that 3 in a row, Ben?
Yep.
Mine's a 9 for 19, please.
Okay. And he's rolled a 12 for a total of 20. So he's hit one of us. I'm just going to roll odds or evens to see which one he's hit. That's a 1. I'm afraid he's hit you.
Okie dokie. I shall go down 2 stamina. It's 19.
Okay. All right.
Ooh, that's good.
That's a bit more like it. I've rolled an 11, finally.
Oh, no way, Ben. So have I.
Oh, fantastic. 21. I don't actually need to roll for him. He's just lost another 4 stamina, which means he's down to 2.
Very good.
I've rolled an 8.
Mine is a 10.
And he's done a mere 7. He is done. So it says, if you win, turn to 61. We have indeed won. In fact, we've crushed it.
Good times.
Yeah.
Right.
A cheer goes up as your opponent drops to the ground. You hear guards enter the arena, and soon your blindfold is removed and your weapons are untied from your wrists. You're led away to your cell, realizing that only the Southerner stands between you and victory. That night you're well fed and your wounds are bandaged. Add 4 stamina points. I actually don't need any.
I shall take 2 of those.
Excellent. In the morning, the familiar ritual of being led into the arena is repeated, but this time you're made to stand face to face with the Southerner. You're each handed a dagger and a studded glove. At the command of Lord Carnus, the final arena battle commences. The Southerner is skill 10, stamina 10. So he's a fairly tough nut to crack. Okay, away we go.
We must have gone right last time, I assume, then, because we didn't get an option to duck, did we?
Yeah, we must have done all right. 8 for me. 18.
7 for me for 17, please.
Okie dokie. And 6 for the Southerner. For a total of 16. He's lost 4 of his stamina already.
Good times.
He's down to 6. I feel better about that.
Yeah, I feel better about the whole thing.
Yeah.
We're into uncharted territory.
We are. I've rolled a 9. 19.
Mine is a 7, please, Ben, for 17.
Okay, he's done a 9 for 19. So I haven't hurt him, and you might or might not have taken damage from him.
Yep.
You have not. That's a 6. So he failed to score a hit against me, but nobody takes any damage this time. I have rolled an 8 for a total of 18.
Mine is a 3 for 13.
And he's rolled a 6 for a total of 16. Okay, so he takes another 2, knocking him down to stamina 4, but he might land a hit on you.
Yep.
He does not. That's a 4. He went for me. Okie dokie. So he's down to 4. We could finish him this round if we're lucky.
Indeed.
And that is an 11 for a total of 21.
Blimey, that's good. That's good, and it's a good thing too, because mine is a 6 for 16.
and his is a 9 for a 19. So he's down to 2 stamina,
Yeah.
and he goes for me again. He's messed up here. He's clearly going wrong. His tactics are letting him down. And I've rolled a 9 for 19.
I too have rolled a 9 for a 19.
And he has rolled a mere 4. He is done. So we win and turn to 261. This is epic. This is completely uncharted territory.
It is indeed.
Okay. All right. This is a big section, which can only be good news, right? As the southerner drops to his knees, clutching his stomach, he manages to utter a few words with his dying breath. Good luck in the dungeon, stranger. But if you get a chance to be alone with Karnus, remember those of us who died in his arena. The southerner grimaces with pain and falls silent. You vow to yourself that you will avenge your fellow slaves' deaths and kill Lord Karnus if you survive the deadly labyrinth of Fang. That night you are the honoured guest of Lord Karnus, and indulge yourself in your every whim. You gorge yourself on delicious food and enjoy yourself long into the night. After a week of luxurious living, you return to full fitness. Restore your stamina score to its initial total. That's useful. I mean, not for me.
It's good.
But then, locked in chains, you set sail with Lord Karnus and 30 of his guards, and 10 days later arrive in Fang, the venue for the annual Trial of Champions. The town is swarming with people intrigued by the trial and eager to celebrate. However, there is no time for you to enjoy the hospitality of Baron Succumvit, as it is late in the evening of the 30th of April, and the trial begins at dawn the next day. You spend the night in a tavern under the watchful eyes of the guards, and at dawn are led to the entrance of the deadly labyrinth. It is supported by ornately carved stone pillars depicting demons, deities, and writhing serpents. You see Baron Succumvit shaking the hands of the other contestants, a Chaos Champion wearing dark spiked armour, an Eastern Warlord in full battle costume, an Elven Prince and a Dwarf Noble. This year the prize has attracted illustrious contenders. You take your place alongside them and are then asked to draw a bamboo stick from the hand of the Baron. The number 2 is etched on the stick. You are to enter the dungeon second after the dwarf. To the cheers of the exultant onlookers, you pass between the pillars armed only with a magnificent sword given to you by Lord Karnus. Without a backpack, food or armour, you feel ill prepared for the coming ordeal, but at least you have this fine sword and a leather pouch at your belt. The sound of the crowd quickly dies away as you walk on down the dimly lit tunnel. What horrors lie before you, it is impossible to imagine. But you know that Baron Succumvit has spent the last year modifying his death trap dungeon so that it is now reputedly lethal beyond comprehension. But your desire to avenge the deaths of your fellow slaves makes you determined to succeed. The tunnel leads straight ahead for 50 metres. Then you come to a doorway in the left-hand wall with a "Keep Out" sign written on it in dried blood. You hear scratching and sniffing sounds coming from the other side of the door. We can draw our sword and open the door, or keep walking down the tunnel.
Well,
I hate to say it, but it's a door.
It's a door. Did you say on the left-hand side? Sorry, Ben.
Yes, on the left-hand side.
Wonderful. Yeah, it is. And I mean, it's Death Trap Dungeon, so it might actually not be that deadly. It might just be a, don't. It might be an early "don't trust anything in this dungeon" kind of message.
It might be, yes. Or it might be the sound of a dying dwarf who foolishly opened the door.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, we should perhaps take a moment to actually acknowledge that we have now made it into the dungeon.
The dungeon proper,
On our
indeed.
third attempt, we've made it into the dungeon itself. I think that at least deserves some appreciation. Okay, so do we open the door because it's our ritual, our normal behaviour? That seems. I mean, it's what we would routinely do.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's never failed us, but I think it hasn't failed us, but we're still working out the intricacies of the rules.
Yeah, yeah. There are more rules than just the one rule, as it turns out.
Indeed.
I'm very tempted to open the door, though.
Let's do it then.
Let's do it. We will open the door and turn to 374. 374. If you find a door, you open it.
Indeed. Unless they're natural doors, in which case we do not open them.
Yes, we learnt that rule the hard way. Yes. The door opens easily and you step into a small room. Before you have time to look around, a huge black hellhound leaps at you with flames shooting out from its cavernous mouth.
But of course.
You must fight this savage beast to the death. Okay. It has skill 7 and stamina 6. However, after each attack round, roll 1 die. If it's a 1 or a 2, we deduct an additional stamina point because of its burning, flamey breath thing.
Ooh.
Okay. Right. Okay. So it doesn't say after you lose each attack round, by the way. It just says after each attack round.
That's even worse.
So that it's gonna slowly attrite us as we as we play. But here we go. We get to attack.
Quick. Yeah.
That's not too bad. That's an 11.
Mine's an 8. Total of 18.
In that case, the hellhound's going to have to do very, very well. He's rolled a 5, so his stamina is down to 2. However, we each take 1 stamina damage. That could be worse.
Yeah, odds are. I suppose it doesn't make too much difference.
No.
But it does affect the us choosing odd numbers for our stamina.
Yeah.
Just for that one extra go.
Yes. Yeah, that doesn't help now, does it? Unless we finish it this round, in which case we'll take a total of 2, of course. I have, however, rolled a 4. I'm hoping you've done better.
I haven't rolled yet, Ben, but they're here. That's an 8 again.
Okay. And that's a 10 for it. So the first bit of good news is it's dead. Now,
Yay.
I need to roll to find out if it went for me, because if it did, that cost me 2 stamina. And it didn't. It went for you. We got lucky. So, we each take just 1 more stamina then, and I'm back to an even number.
Good stuff. An odd number.
Sorry, odd number, yes.
An odd number?
Yes, the exact opposite of an even number.
I was worried. Yeah, I was worried then because I thought, oh, hold on, that means that I should be as well.
Good evening, Raiders. Thank you very much for joining us. We're having a tremendously good run at the moment. This is really going splendidly. It can only go downhill from here.
We're alive.
We're alive, and we've actually made it into the dungeon, which is part of the book. We've made it past the preamble and prologue, which we've never managed before. So, okay. We win, so we turn to 52. Okay. The room is empty apart from a pile of straw and old bones in the far corner. We can rummage through the straw or leave the room and walk along the tunnel. Well, I believe that the reason we open all these doors is because sometimes we find things that are good in them.
Yeah, we like a good rummage, don't we? I
Yeah,
think.
I think we do. I mean, there could be a plague rat or something in there, but it's worth a try, right?
Hmm.
So we will rummage through the straw and turn to 36. Okay, you find a gold ring lying on the stone floor under the straw.
Ooh.
So we place it in a leather pouch on the belt and then leave the room to continue along the tunnel. Excellent. Gold ring, that's useful.
Hopefully. Hopefully that is useful.
This is superb. Okay, so we turn to 82. The tunnel soon comes to an end at a T-junction. You can head left or right. Now, I vaguely remember that Death Trap Dungeon had this as well near the starting area, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Don't ask me which way we went though,
No, I can't remember either.
or how it worked out. Well, I mean, it didn't work out well for us, obviously, because we didn't complete it. But
I seem to no, hang on a minute. I think we went right and then encountered a sort of big worm thing blocking the passage that we had to climb over or something.
and then just went left,
Yeah.
double back. Maybe. But does that mean that we should go right this time, just in case it's been changed? And that's the good way to go. And if not, and there's still a giant worm thing there, then we just turn back and
Yeah.
no harm done, right?
Well,
Right?
right. I'm just thinking that the flesh thing that we had to clamber over can't still be there, right?
Well, I mean, maybe, but it seems a bad choice if you're trying to make revamp a dungeon into something that is deadly and is going to kill people to leave things that were in there before and people might have heard about. You'd want to change everything up a little bit, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you probably would.
And keep it fresh.
And he's made it a bit harder already because didn't we get like a welcome present in Death Trap Dungeon, a little chest that you opened and it gave you something?
Which was that possibly in the room or was that before?
I don't know. I don't know.
We definitely, if there was a door there, we definitely would have opened that room though, wouldn't we?
We would, yeah. It might have
And
been
I'm
in
not
there.
sure I remember.
So he might have replaced the welcome
Maybe.
gift with the
With the Hellhound.
yeah.
Is it the Hellhound? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
5 minutes ago. You're cool, Ben. You're cool. I think I'm good either way, to be honest. I think either way has its merits.
Try right, because I have a vague feeling that's what we did at Death Trap Dungeon, and we did make it a fair way, I think.
Yeah, we didn't die straight away.
Not immediately, no.
No.
Okay, so we'll head right and turn to 304. Okay. In the distance, you hear the sound of running water, and soon the tunnel ends at the edge of a pit. A rope bridge straddles the pit, and beyond it, the tunnel continues straight on. There's a wooden box tied to the bridge, and a sign above it which reads, "Pay gold to cross." A rope hangs down from the bridge. Peering down into the gloom of the pit, you can just make out a fast-flowing river far below. So we can drop a gold object into the box and walk across the bridge.
Yeah.
Walk across the bridge without paying, or climb down the rope into the pit.
Do we have we don't have a gold coin, do we?
We have a gold ring.
Oh, that's true.
So we could drop a gold ring into the box and walk across the bridge.
That is
Maybe.
true.
Um,
I mean, you'd have to be really pedantic to not accept a gold ring, which is surely of greater value.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, while obviously the gold ring might be incredibly useful and incredibly valuable, the truth is we don't know if it's useful for anything.
Mm.
This might be the thing it's best at. And I'm not seeing any doors here. There's a rope, there's a pit, there's a box.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose a hole in a box is kind of like a door,
In
but
that
it's too
case,
small for us to go in.
yeah, we are basically required
Mm.
to do it, right? Basically.
Let's give it a go. Let's see what happens, Ben.
Okay. Pay
I
the
think it's a
toll, drop
solid
the ring.
choice.
Yeah, I like this. Let's try it.
Though, remember what happened the last time we tried to be clever in this book.
Oh yes, that's true.
I'm just going to put that out there.
Okay, we will do exactly what we're supposed to, and drop a gold object into the box and walk across the bridge, and we'll see if
Yeah.
this actually functions. But we'll give it a shot. So, 27. You drop the gold ring into the box and step warily onto the rope bridge. It appears to be strong enough to bear your weight, and you hurry across it unchallenged. Turn to 117.
Oh, good times. Nicely done. Very good choice, Ben.
Well, I was heavily influenced by chat, it has to be said.
Well done, chat. Chat have led us well
Yes,
tonight.
this
It
is
must be
good
said.
advice.
Yeah.
The tunnel eventually comes to a dead end. There is a stone tablet set in the end wall with a small circular hole in its centre. Around the hole are etched the words, 1 is on and 2 is gone. We can reach into the circular hole or retrace our steps back over the bridge and go beyond the T-junction.
Do we have another coin? Ring. We don't have another ring, do we? Do
No,
you think it's a two-way trip? Do we get a return ticket?
and apparently you're not allowed to stick a sword in it.
Mm. There are two of us. Yeah, you are right, Snail. I'm not sure that's a good thing.
1 is on and 2 is gone. I don't know if that's supposed to be something we can figure out, is it? 1 is on and 2
And there's a
is
tablet
gone.
with a hole in it.
It could be a switch or something.
Maybe, yeah, maybe we don't find out until we stick our hand in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can do it. Obviously, we have the option to
We've got loads
stick.
of hands to spare. We've got four of them.
We do carry spares. Yes, that much is very true. We could do it. Um, um,
However,
I'm tempted to say it is a little bit like a door.
yeah, that is a good call, Snail. It is a hole in something stone.
I don't know. I don't want to make the call. What do you reckon?
Oh, let's give it a go, Ben. We've come this far. We've done well.
Okay.
It can't kill us from sticking a hand in a hole, can it?
Yes, it can. But
Maybe
this
I'm just not
this
being
isn't a natural
imaginative
hole.
enough.
Remember, the last time we died from sticking our arm in something, it was a natural
Yeah,
hole.
yeah, it was in that. Yeah, that's true.
So okay, we'll give it a shot. We'll turn to 179. Okay. Slowly you reach further into the hole until your fingers touch two buttons, one with the number 1 stamped on it and the other bearing the number 2. Okay.
Right.
Yes, it is. in our experience, doors that are actual doors are safer than like natural holes that things might live in. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, we natural holes, things left by the wildlife, are usually deadly in our experience
So far.
so far.
Mm.
Okay, so we can press number one or we can press number two.
One is on, two
One
is
is
gone.
on and two is gone.
I'm going to be honest, when I've got my hand in the hole and two is gone, two sounds like a bad choice.
I tend to agree.
However, it doesn't mean that one is the right choice.
If I mean, it does feel like if you press two, a blade drops down and cuts your hand off, doesn't it?
Mm. Or maybe one activates the stone and it turns on and kills us, and two removes the stone and there's more path.
Uh,
It's far too open to interpretation, I feel. I mean, with good reason, but I don't know, Ben. I can't call this one. I don't think.
uh, um, I'm I'm tempted to say,
Yeah, see, Snail's gone with turning on the hand grinder, which it could very well be,
yeah, it
and
could.
one is removing the stone, which is a good thing. But gone could also mean your hand is gone.
I don't know what it can be, obviously, but if you're me, you're thinking, what if it's go on your way, onward,
Onwards. Yeah.
possibly. um, Unfortunately, we no longer have the option to retreat. So we've either got to press
We
button number
have
one
to
or
make
button
a
number two.
choice. Oh, blimey.
Um, uh, what to do? What to do?
I'm going to be honest at this point, Ben. I think it would be remiss of us to not accept the advice of chat. Judging on how,
And chat
no,
is.
we've got two options in chat.
Uh,
One of
um,
each.
Gone. That seems to be the thing. People think gone is the way to go, don't they?
Hmm.
Uh, we can certainly do it. Mm.
This really is a horrible choice. Probably by design, but it's not
I
good.
I think. Yeah,
Worst case scenario, we lose a hand and a bit of skill, right?
yeah. I'm sure if it lops our arm off this far from medical care, on
Hmm.
the other side of a pit which nobody can cross to get to us, we'll be
We must
fine.
have a belt. We must have a belt or something. We've got.
Sure.
We've got a sword. We've got a sword. We can make
Okay.
a tourniquet.
Button number two it is. Let's see what happens. We will turn to 214.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We trust. We trust Gon. We do not trust Google. We trust chat more than Google. I do anyway.
Okay. Your mind goes blank immediately, and when you regain your senses, you find yourself at the entrance to the dungeon. The crowd sees you and starts to jeer and hiss. They rush forward, hurling stones. Oh, roll one die and deduct the number from your stamina score. Oh,
Wait. What? We just made it out alive.
we did.
Why are
Um,
they? Why are they attacking us?
uh, Apparently, we're not, you know, doing well.
It's too quick. Do you want to do one for both of us, or do you want to do one each?
Let's do one each.
Okay.
We can both maintain separate stamina, can't we? It doesn't have a
Yeah.
problem. So, yep. Let's each do it.
Oh, that's not good. That's a
That's a 4
6.
for me.
Ugh. Game, why would you do this to us?
I am very, very low on stamina. Right. You turn and run back into the dungeon, past the door on your left to the T junction. And it offers us again the chance to go left or right. So I'm guessing we either go right and then try button number 1,
Yeah, but we
or we
don't
go
have a
left. What do you
but
reckon?
we don't have a ring. Possibly, I don't know how whether that will affect us or not.
I don't know.
Choices. What would on be? Given the nature of gone, which we did not expect.
Uh, I think chat is basically saying left.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, I think that's
I think that's
probably what
probably
I would lean
reasonable
towards.
because
Yeah, yeah,
I suspect we haven't like got a. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Um, it might the toll might still be ours if you know what I mean,
yeah,
but
yeah,
we
yeah,
don't know that. So, and you always have this problem, which is the risk, the very big risk, that if you go down that direction, because it's a game book, it might not offer you a chance to retreat again.
yeah, definitely.
So left, you reckon?
Yeah, let's go
Left.
left.
Let's do left. We will turn to 229. After 30 metres, you notice that the ceiling has about 20 spears pointing down from holes in the rock.
Oh, good.
You look on the ground for a tripwire which may trigger them, but you don't see one. So the options are walk on or retrace your steps back past the T junction. Oh, God.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Death Trap Dungeon.
Oh, no. This is just so brutal. Um,
Well, I suppose it's given us the lesser of two evils, hasn't it? But we know what's one way. We're just not entirely sure of the bridge. Or, to be fair, what happened if we press the second button? It might be equally as bad.
yes, it might.
And carrying on this way, we have no idea what's happening.
I'm actually now more scared of the spears, though, than I am of the hole in the wall.
Mm. I still feel as though. Well, what's the saying, Ben? We're stuck between Scylla and Charybdis.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what we are.
Mm,
Yeah, spears and button.
yeah, stuck between spears and button.
I'm on average
Your
slightly
call.
more scared of the spears than I am of the button, but if you want us to press on, I will completely believe you.
No, okay. Let's I don't want to say it. Let's double back if that's what you're
Again,
leaning. If that's what you're leaning towards, yeah. Let's
that's
let's
what I'm
do one
leaning
more
towards. Oh God.
retracing of our
We'll walk
steps.
back past the T junction and turn to 304. We are doomed, aren't we? We're so bad at this one. Okay. In the distance, you hear the sound of running water, and soon the tunnel ends at the edge of a pit. A rope bridge straddles the pit, and beyond it, the tunnel continues straight on. There's a wooden box tied to the bridge and a sign above it which reads Pay Gold to Cross. A rope hangs down from the bridge. Peering down into the gloom of the pit, you can just make out a fast flowing river far below. So, drop a gold object into the box and walk across the bridge, walk
Yeah,
across without paying, or
yeah.
climb down into the pit.
I mean, the option to walk across without paying might still be there. In my head, this is the same paragraph that we were at before, but you turn to the next one and says, "Have you been here before and previously dropped a golden object into the
I think
box?"
this is literally the same paragraph. So if we
Yeah,
turn
or
to
it
that
just
one,
says you're
it
dead.
will say you put the ring in the box. So we can't do that now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're either going to have to walk across without paying or climb down into the pit. And since
Hmm.
it's a river down there, I'm tempted to say we walk straight across without paying because the worst that happens is we fall into the river anyway. Mind
Yes,
you, I'd rather
maybe.
climb into the river than drop into it from great height.
I mean, I thought the worst that would happen at the two buttons was that we got a handcuff, and maybe less happened to us, and it wasn't as bad as that.
Yeah,
Should we give it a go, and at least then we know whether the toll gets reset or not for next time.
okay.
Maybe, unless you want to climb down.
Let's try walking across without paying. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? This is called Happiness Dungeon, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll walk across the bridge without paying. Turn to 152. We'll see what happens. It could easily be instant death.
Yeah, death is definitely the worst. Oh wait, apparently that's a bad plan.
You step warily
Well,
onto the rope bridge, testing it to make sure it will bear your weight. You look around but see nobody, so you hurry across the bridge unchallenged. Turn to 117.
I'm still hoping for a have you previously placed something golden in the box?
The tunnel eventually comes to a dead end. There is a
Oh,
stone tablet set in the end wall with a small circular hole in the centre. Around the hole are etched the words 1 is on and 2 is gone. We can reach into the hole or retrace our steps. Um,
I like how you said I'm more worried about the spears,
I am more worried
even though
about the
you know what
spears.
options were going to lie this way,
I'm
and now
just
we're at those options.
I I I think we have to press the button, don't we?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's either
Okay.
that or retrace our steps and either climb down the hole or
Yeah.
carry on to the spears.
Let's press the button. I mean,
Realistically,
yeah. I mean, it could just kill us, of course, but
mm.
after all, it did give us an out to not come back here and try the other button. But we will reach into the circular hole, try 179, and see what happens. Okay, slowly you reach further into the hole until your fingers touch two buttons, one with the number 1 and the other bearing the number 2. So we have to press button 1, don't we? Which is turn to
Yeah, I
12.
mean, we don't have to. We could press 2 and show up outside the entrance to the dungeon again, I suppose. But it makes sense.
As soon as you press the button, a large stone slab in the left-hand wall of the tunnel pivots open.
Hmm.
You step through the gap and find yourself in another tunnel. You soon come to a door in the right-hand wall which has an old broom nailed to it. Okay, so effectively I think we're now heading north.
Yeah, there's a
Um,
door in the right
and
hand
there's a
wall,
door on the right.
and it's got a broom nailed to it.
Yeah, and essentially we are left with open the door or carry on down the tunnel. And it's a door.
I mean, the door is the door.
It's a door.
It's right there in black and white.
I mean, it's not even open to debate, is it? It's definitely a door.
Oh, yeah, 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 for sure.
Um, we have to open the door. 246.
It's the one.
This could be instant death, but
So can anything in
Oh,
this place, at
boy.
least.
As soon as you open the door, you're met by a blast of warm air. For a second, you think it's a trap until you see a huge fire burning under a simmering cauldron in the centre of the small room. An old woman is dropping rats, slugs, and maggots and centipedes into the cauldron, and appears to be enjoying herself. If you wish to enter the room, turn to 186, and if you'd rather close the door and continue along the tunnel, 346. So, I mean, I'm tempted to suggest that what we're dealing with here is a witch or hag of some description.
Yeah, I mean that seems to make sense. I would agree.
Um, so, obviously, we all know that witches were an oppressed minority and all that, but this is a fantasy book, so it could go very badly wrong.
Mm.
Um, uh, what do you think?
We're kind of in uncharted territory here because I'm sure it's happened before, but opening doors is very different to using them, and I'm not sure what the rules are on using doors that you have previously opened.
Uh, to be fair, closing the door is also using a door.
That's true. That is very true.
I can't
Do you want to
decide.
do you want to close do you want to close the door?
I'm profoundly tempted to close the door and move along, yeah.
Okay. I'm happy with that.
You happy with that?
I think that's a sensible choice. She might have good things, but she may also have death.
She
So.
might, and I'm quite low on stamina, but she might take stamina.
Mm.
Yeah,
We do at some point. We do need to find something to restore stamina, though,
we do.
because
So maybe this is a chance to risk it. We have to be bold, don't we? After all,
and that is true. That is true.
after all, we did on one occasion die of cowardice playing this game.
Well, yes, yeah.
Let's enter the room and see what happens. It could be insta death, but we'll try it. Yeah.
Okay.
186.
Yeah.
The old crone looks up, cackles an evil laugh, and then throws some dust on the floor. A cloud of smoke rises up, and the old witch vanishes. Suddenly there is movement above you, and you just have enough time to draw your sword as two vampire bats swoop down to attack. Maybe it's just me, but I feel my sword was already out, stepping into a witch-infested dungeon in this place.
Hmm.
But anyway, yes.
Yeah.
We have two vampire bats to fight.
Okay.
Now, interestingly, we're going to have... This is going to be a weird one to fight, actually, because... No, that should be fine. Yeah, it's fine. There's a thing about what the other vampire bat's doing if you're fighting only one, but we can fight both simultaneously. So,
Cool.
would you like the first or second vampire bat?
I'll take the first one, please, Ben.
Okay, that is skill 5, stamina 5.
Not bad.
Okay. Okay, I've rolled a 4, which is a total of 14. And my opponent has rolled a 9 for a total of 14.
Ooh. Right. Mine is a 9 for a 19.
That's good.
And the vampire bats rolls a 10 for a total of 15.
Okay, that's a good start.
Yes.
I have rolled an 8 for a total of 18, which means I don't have to roll. My vampire bat has taken the hit.
There is nothing that can be done. Very good. Mine is a 7 for a 17. It can be done, just. But it rolled a 10 for a 15.
Oh, and it needed a 12. Excellent. And again, I've rolled an 11 for a total of, lots.
Yeah,
16.
more than is
21, and the best it can possibly do is well below that. So mine is done. Mine is dead.
Very good. That's what we like. Ooh, that's a 5 for me. So maybe. And a 9 for the vampire bat for 14. So mine too is dead.
Excellent stuff. Okay, we win, so turn to 142.
Good times.
Okay. You decide to add your own ingredients to the witch's brew by dropping the vampire bats into the cauldron in the hope of poisoning her.
Mm.
You look around the room and find a polished wooden box with a face carved into it. A face which you recognise. It is that of the dwarf who entered the dungeon before you. You also find a small phial of red dust hidden inside an old book. We can open the wooden box, throw some dust on the floor, put the phial in your belt pouch, or leave the room and continue along the corridor. She threw dust on the floor in order to get the bats to appear, didn't she?
Yeah.
So I'm tempted to say we take the phial.
Yeah.
And not
Aim to
throw it
use it
here,
later.
but we might have a need to throw it later, yeah?
Yeah. I like that. It's a good choice.
Okay.
Seems sensible. Though I do want to know what's in the box.
So do I, but it might offer us a chance to do that as well. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
We put the phial in belt pouch, turn to 300. Okay. There is nothing else of interest in the room, and despite your hunger, you refrain from helping yourself to a bowl of the bubbling brew. We can now open the wooden box or leave the room and continue along the corridor.
I say I want to know what's in the box. I do want to know what's in the box, but I'm also very cautious of opening the box with a dead person's face carved into it.
And we have a very good idea in chat here. In the box makes you swap places with the trapped dwarf. That could be what it is, because it's...
That could totally work.
Yeah, that really could be it.
And then our face will be on the outside of the box.
Yeah. It would be an appropriately creepy finale.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, not much time has passed, has it?
No.
Not enough time to carve a likeness into a box that...
No, I tend to agree.
Of the previous person that entered the dungeon, in my humble opinion. So there's got to be something weird and creepy going on.
Yeah, I don't like the box. Yeah, I'm with Slayer, and well, not just Slayer. Yeah, let's ignore the box and head out along the corridor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good call.
We will leave the room and continue along the corridor. I think that's reasonable for us.
Yeah. At this stage.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that. Leave the room. Continue along the corridor. We will turn to 346.
Wonderful.
Okay. You soon come to another doorway in the right-hand wall. Nailed to the door is a small bird, long dead and shriveled. We can open the door or continue along the tunnel. Now, we know what we're going to do here, right?
Yeah, a door is a door.
Okay. A door is a door. And so we will be opening the door and
Yep.
turning to 59. But not tonight, because amazingly, we have actually made it to the point where we're going to actually break this into 2 sessions,
Oh,
which is
and
absolutely shocking with Trial of
unheard
Champions.
of, indeed.
Having not made it into the proper dungeon before, we've now made it far enough through that we're going to have a second part, a part 2 of our adventure.
I shall take a photo of the map for prosperity.
Yeah, that is amazing. Absolute, genuinely shocking to me.
Yeah, I think once we're in, things are going well. So far, touch wood, we haven't come across any insta-death things which we have chosen, which is good. It felt like almost the insta-death things in the prelude were almost like a 50-50,
Yeah,
if I'm honest.
yeah.
And that might not be the case, but yeah, it definitely felt like it.
Can we write what's on the new door? Yeah, we'll resume at 346, which is the paragraph I just read. So it'll have the description of what's on the door, and then we will open the door and find out what's inside. Because obviously, the broom is kind of indicative of which, I guess, and the bird could easily be indicative of, things that birds are associated with.
It could be a giant rock.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, could be almost anything. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everybody who came along and joined for a little bit of classic fighting fantasy, whether live or on demand.
And gave us amazing advice as well.
Yes, that was very helpful. Thank you. I must
Much.
confess, it had not occurred to me that the box might be exactly that the place where the poor dwarf is probably trapped forever. But I've decided that was absolutely the right call. We probably shouldn't open the box. Excellent. Right. Thank you very much, everybody. And we will bid you a very fond good night.
Good night.